This will be a review of the Northstar 30-ton log splitter. This is from Northern Tool. And actually this will be a review of the building of the machine. It comes in two parts. This is the main beam, all the hydraulics, and the other part is a box. Move, Daisy. The box, which includes the motor and parts. So I ordered it with free delivery to store. It comes in an angle iron frame, which I've already taken the top off. There you can see the bottom of the frame, and it's bolted together, so you can just unbolt the frame. And I'm just starting to put it together, so I'll take shots as we go. So I've been at this another hour. I'm going to just show you my progress as I go. I got the fenders on and the wheels on both sides, and this the bar here. I wanted to mention that if you're going to get this thing, make sure you take into account the time involved and the additional cost. If you go buy one at Tractor Supply, it's already built, it's full of fluids. Just unpacking this from its crate, from its metal angle iron crate, took over an hour. And I anticipate putting it together probably going to take me 2 to 3 hours. And you will need help at some point when you go to mount this beam here. The cost, you have to fill it with fluid, hydraulic fluid. That's about $70, and of course you need to put oil in the engine. So there is a lot of time investment in this splitter, although I bought it because it looks like a better splitter than those on the market at Tractor Supply or Lowe's, and I like the Honda GX engine, so to me it was worth a little extra money and a little time. Alright, another hour in, and I've gotten the jack put on, the engine is mounted, the first hydraulic, the supply hose is hooked up, and the outrigger leg is on. So that's another hour. I wanted to mention that if you don't, that you will need 2 sets of metric wrenches, and unfortunately my metric socket set does not have some that you need. You're going to need 16, 18, 13, and I think those are the main ones, but make sure you get a complete set before you start this. You can sometimes use adjustable, but there's some places where you just need a box end wrench. Alright, so in this last hour I have mounted the beam, which I did that by myself. I stood it up on the foot, and it stood there while I backed the trailer up to it. I put on the filter there. Ran the throttle cable. This splitter features an auto idle, so when the splitting head here comes back up, it hits this little finger, which puts your, if you follow this cable back, it goes down here to the idle on the engine. So I don't know how well that's going to work. That was pretty difficult getting that cable in position. It goes around. It may need some adjustment, so that's where it is. I stood the beam up to make sure the cable moved freely and didn't pull. So you want to make sure if you're building it that you stand that up and make sure your cable. Alright, so the last hour, several things to show. This engine guard is not heavy enough. I didn't crush the tube, but you could crush it if you tighten those bolts down too much. I wish this was heavier gauge. I made the cylinder in this beam I put on by myself. It's really heavy. I just had to stand it up and put that on. The table here, log table, really need 2 people, but again I managed to do it by myself. You got to hold both sides in place while you put the screws all the way through. So the last thing is the hydraulics, and we'll see how long that takes. Okay, another hour's work, and I think we're done. I just finished up with the hydraulics, And anybody that's getting ready to do this project, just note that the way they instruct you to in the book probably won't work. This high pressure line from the pump comes out here. Supposed to go up through, you can't see, there's a couple of brackets there, go up through the other side and come around. There's no way it's going to work in the vertical position. And I like to split most of my wood vertically. So this high pressure line is not the way it's said in the book. Also, this low pressure return line was really tight, but I got it to fit. So I wouldn't tighten down your hoses or fix them in position until you've tried the horizontal and vertical positions. I put a lot of time here, so at least 6 hours unpacking and building this. I did it all by myself. It can be done alone, but it's very difficult. These log boards putting on by yourself are difficult. So I'll do a separate video with the operation of the machine. I also have filled it with hydraulic oil. It takes less than the book specifies. I think the book specifies about 8 or 8.5 gallons, and it took less than 7, so we overflowed a little there. So anyway, thank you for watching, and look for the review coming up when the weather cools off. We'll be out splitting wood. Alright, quick follow-up. I started it. It works. It starts fine. And I tried to run the wedge, and I had a little hydraulic leak here. That's because on this this pressure right here, this high pressure to the valve, I had not tightened it down because I was checking to see that the vertical and horizontal positions didn't pull on the hose. So I have a little puddle here. I'm going to clean it up, but everything else seemed to work. So when you build yours, just double check all the hydraulic fittings.